Well, hello, and welcome to Dave in Cali. It's really been a good day today, so I would like to start out to ask you guys to remember to like, share, and subscribe. That's how the channel gets exposed to more people, and it really helps me out a lot. Oh yeah, and don't forget to push that little notification bell. That probably helps even more. You can always shut that off on your phone later. Well, as I said, it was a great day and we were winning everywhere. So don't get discouraged. Little by little, we're winning in all sorts of different areas. So I'm pretty excited and I'm pretty happy about what's going on here lately. So that being said, let's move right ahead. Well, as an amusing note to all you Biden lovers, and I know you guys are out there, you Biden lovers, it has come to most people's attention that Biden seems to be a pathological liar. But he just can't help it. You know, watch this little clip that I put together and pay close attention.
When I marched in the civil rights movement, I did not march with a 12-point program. I marched with tens of thousands of others to change attitudes. And we changed attitudes. When I was 17 years old, like many of you, I participated in sit-ins to desegregate the restaurants and movie houses of Wilmington, Delaware. I came out of the civil rights movement. I was one of those guys that sat in and marched and all that stuff. During the 60s, I was, in fact, very concerned about the civil rights movement. I was not an activist. I worked at an all-black swimming pool in the east side of Wilmington, Delaware. I was involved in what they were thinking, what they were feeling. I was involved, but I was not out marching. I was not down in Selma. I was not anywhere else. I was a suburbanite kid who got a dose of exposure to what was happening to black Americans when I'm in my own city.
You know, when I was a teenager in Delaware, for real, I got involved in the civil rights movement. We have the 8th largest black population in America. Most people don't know that. And I'd go to 8 o'clock Mass, then I'd go to Reverend Herring's church where we'd meet in order to organize and figure where we were going to go, whether we were going to desegregate the Rialto movie theater or what we were going to do. I got my education for real in the black church. And that's not hyperbole, it's a fact. But I got my education, Reverend Doc, in the black church. Not a joke. Because when we used to get organized on Sundays to go out and desegregate movie theaters and things like that, we'd do it through the black church. I was no big shakes, Reverend, in the civil rights movement. I was just a kid. I got involved in desegregated movie theaters and helping, you may remember Reverend Moyer in Delaware and Herman Holloway organized voter registration drives, coming out of black churches on Sunday, figuring how we were going to move. In October, I was invited to the National Civil Rights Museum in Memphis to receive the Freedom Award, a thing when I sat in black churches in the east side of Wilmington getting ready to, and by the way, next to two Jewish rabbis, getting ready to go out and desegregate movie theaters in Delaware. I never ever thought in my life I would be worthy of, and I'm still not sure I'm worthy of it.
And they're following my predecessor, the last president, into a deep, deep black hole and abyss. No, I really mean it. Think about it. That's what got me involved in civil rights as a kid when I was 26 years old.
Okay, Joe, which is it? You 17 or were you 26? Did you march or didn't you march? Or were you actually just in your basement taking a nap? Well, I don't know. Anyway, for a more serious note, during a Thursday White House press briefing, Biden's deputy press secretary, Karine Jean-Pierre, which I hope that's how you pronounce it, was asked about the administration's climate change agenda that has been stalled out in Congress due to a pushback in legislation on both sides of the aisle. You're not going to believe what she said. Listen to this.
Thanks, Crane. It's looking more and more like the Clean Energy Performance Program might not make it in the final version of the reconciliation package. That was a really big part of how the president planned to meet his own emission goals. So what message does that send to other countries ahead of COP26?
So, President Biden reestablished U.S. leadership on day one. And as you've heard us say, as you have heard us say, when it comes to acting on climate change every day since from day one, the president will advance his climate agenda using every tool at his disposal and can make significant progress in curbing emissions, growing our economy, and good-paying union jobs. And so he could do that without Congress. There was actually a report that came out this week from the Rhodium Group, an independent research firm, reinforced the fact that the U.S. has multiple pathways to meet President Biden's pledge to reduce emission 50 to 52% below the 2005 levels in 2030. So we'll continue to work with our colleagues in Congress on Clean Electricity Performance Program, but this independent analysis lays out a path to the president's climate goal without a CEEP in place. And so we'll just continue to do the whole of government approach that we've been doing this past 9-10 months.
But if he can't get his biggest climate priority passed through Congress, how can he point to the United States being a leader on this issue?
Because we have had other ways of doing that. We don't need, what we're saying is we don't need Congress. We can do it without Congress, as I just laid out. Let me give you some examples of what we've already done. So leading the shift towards electric vehicles, which you've heard us talk about many times, which is bringing together automakers and auto workers, phasing out super pollutants like HFCs to greatly reduce emissions, making a cross-government investment in clean energy like offshore wind and solar, making historic commitments to use every lever at his disposal to advance environmental justice and spur economic opportunity for disadvantaged communities. And extreme weather events increase in frequency and ferocity. The U.S. has taken bold steps to strengthen the nation's resiliency to severe impacts of a challenging climate. So we have done a lot here. The president has. He has signed multiple executive orders to make sure that we are leading in this effort. And remember, we're coming from 4 years of climate change, 4 years before us, where climate change was not, dealing with climate change was not a priority. And so this president has been doing that since day one of his administration. Will continue to do that.
Unbelievable. Government has gotten so big, so powerful that it thinks it can just go around Congress. What happened to we the people, the ones who are really in power? And then, of course, when are we going to realize that that's the case? Anyway, we need to stand up for our rights. Next, I want to talk about the TMTG. And you go, what the heck is TMTG? Well, you probably already heard, but it's all over the place. Trump Media Technology Group has formed a new social media. And it was officially released yesterday, and it started taking reservations or sign-ups, as you will. I signed up. I hope you did too. And here's a little ad that I posted yesterday when I first heard about it. Okay, guys, that's it. I want to remind you again, like, share, and subscribe. It's really important. And click that notification bell, and we will see you on the next one.